nigga stole on you that from the side. No, nigga hit you like a rap, didn't you? I didn't see you. Hey, let's make a headshot. Man down, man down. Make a headshot. Man down, man down. Right there.
Bass, I promise you none of these niggas gonna beat me. None of them. I'm gonna make an example out of Tio. That's the only thing I love. I promise they gonna be up.
This is honestly the most flawless from 123 all the way down to 114. Since then, he's had his shares of victories.
Shakur Stevenson has undergone a dramatic transformation, showing significant weight gain as he bulks up, reshaping his body and mindset while he prepares for the moment of truth, stepping into destiny to fight Teofimo Lopez at a tense catch weight of 140 pounds on January 31st.
Work hard, sacrifices, discipline, time away from my family. How you gonna beat me? Ain't no way you can beat me that way, bro. Keep saying I'm the best. Niggas don't want this shit more than me. I know it. I know it. I want this shit so bad. So bad. Shit easy, yeah.
Easy work.
Easy.
Always easy work.
You already know.
Always easy work.
This supposed to be a sprint.
Let's go.
This ain't no sprint.
No, it's a job. Let's go. We ready.
Determined in his training camp, he works relentlessly, pushing past limits, perfecting every skill, and quietly building raw strength, knowing each sacrifice is shaping the version of himself meant to dominate in the upcoming fight.
Both legs, man, hit it for 3, we rested, we did 3 more. And we're trying to get that 1.0 meters per second, maximize our power. I had you at about 120, 125, but we're gonna add some reps and lighten the weight a little bit.
Terran Crawford frequently trains with Shakur Stevenson, becoming more than a partner, mentoring him through every round, sharing secret techniques, and sparring intensely, constantly pushing Stevenson to improve skills, sharpen mindset, and build real resilience, providing tough sessions that teach invaluable lessons he will carry into battle.
I almost missed that one.
Which one?
There it go. There it go. There it go. There it go.
God
There it go, bro. He trying to run me into the wall. Y'all didn't see that? He's trying. Man, I performed. You know that. I told y'all what I was gonna do. I was gonna come out here and beat his ass every game. And look, he's thinking about saying, let's play again.
Shakur Stevenson focuses intensely on elevating his speed, carefully refining his footwork, sharpening his punches, and tuning his reactions, driven by a quiet obsession to dominate opponents with quick, precise, almost effortless movements that leave no room for mistakes. Teofimo Lopez admits Shakur Stevenson is extremely talented at 135 pounds, but still expresses real doubts about how that brilliance will translate at 140 pounds, saying only the upcoming fight will reveal the truth about how well he truly adapts under pressure.
Honestly, the most flawless from 123 all the way down to 114. Since then, he's had his shares of victories. I think 135 was his top tier. 140, I think we just gotta wait and see, you know what I mean? And for him to even come up to do that, you know, I think he deserves his flowers for everyone else out there. You know, guys trying to go more down into the ranks of top 5, top 3, and eventually top 1 for pound.
But that ain't what you said, bro.
What'd I say?
I gotta remind you, you said basically I'm good at the lower weight classes. The only way that I'm going to be good is I fight at 126 pounds against guys like Inoue. But once I move up, you're going to, well, I can't compete at this level at that weight class. So
Antonio Tarver approaches this matchup with the quiet caution of someone who understands boxing beyond simple records and recent performances, seeing layers others might miss. From his perspective, Teofimo Lopez is not a fighter who can be judged only by his last few outings, because moments do not define the whole story. Tarver highlights that Lopez still possesses rare natural gifts that cannot be trained into existence, the kind you are either born with or never truly have. His speed, strength, and explosiveness remain intact, and those traits alone make him a constant threat to anyone in the division, no matter the narrative. Tarver's warning centers on the idea that danger does not disappear simply because confidence wavers or public opinion shifts. Fighters with Lopez's athletic ability only need one small opening to change a fight completely, even against a technician like Shakur Stevenson. Any single moment of hesitation or miscalculation could become costly, turning control into chaos in the blink of an eye.
They both possess?
Yeah, I mean, smart money would be on the boxer, Shakur Stevenson, winning the decision. But, if Lopez can make this fight, a lot tougher than expected, and he's going to have to exchange with Shakur. He's a fast fighter. We don't know who's the quickest or fastest here. You have to give the speed edge to Shakur. But if Lopez can punch with this fast guy, make him a little bit cautious and a little bit leery of what's coming back, that serves him well. But Teofimo is one of the best conditioned fighters out there. If this fight goes late, you can expect him to be pushing forward round 9, 10, and 11 if it goes late.
Yeah, a big question is always like what Teo is going to show up. And like when everyone's counted out Teo, it's actually been the times where he's like upset people, like against Lomachenko, against Josh Taylor, fights to the level of his competition. And I've been thinking like, hey, if we get the best version of Teo, like the Teo that showed up for those fights, does that Teo beat the best Shakur?
It would have to. I think that's the only chance he got, is to really be his ultra self, doing all the things that makes him Teofimo Lopez. The footwork could be a major advantage for him. Being able to get inside. A lot of times he fights free. He don't really have a style. He does what it takes. And he's a gutsy fighter. Real gutsy. He's not going to be leery to take chances. He's a gambler in there. You know what I'm saying? So he's a live underdog, I would say. A live underdog, but if he's to win this fight, I think he has to probably...
Zab Judah views this fight as a pure collision of elite talent, rather than just a clash of hype, a moment where reality finally replaces noise. He sees two competitors who are equally committed to proving superiority, neither willing to give ground mentally or physically, even for a second. From Judah's standpoint, this is not a fight where one man dominates through size or power alone, because raw force cannot decide everything at this level. Instead, it is about who can impose their skill set when the pressure is at its highest and the margin for error disappears. Both fighters are known for confidence and discipline, and that rare combination suggests a contest filled with tension, constant adjustments, and rising intensity with every round. Judah believes the refusal of either fighter to back down is what truly elevates this bout into something special, turning it into a genuine examination of ability rather than just another showcase.
It's two dog fighters. You got two dog fighters that's coming in there to solidify themselves as the game changer. Teo's not gonna lay down. Shakur is not gonna lay down. It's gonna be skill versus skill. Teo's a very talented, skillful fighter. Shakur is a very extremely talented, skillful fighter. And yes, we're gonna see a hell of a great chess match that night.
Yeah, I believe so. Now, I think in your earlier predictions, you felt like Shakur will be stopping Teo? Am I right?
Annihilation, decapitation. Is that what you're talking about? You going back to my comments? Yeah. I feel like Teo's a very dominant force, but I just think that the skills of Shakur Stevens is gonna overwhelm Teo. It's gonna overwhelm. Yeah. He's never seen this type of action before yet.
Now,
No disrespect. Okay. It's my little man, you know what I'm saying? Just saying, yo, it is what it is.
Looking at, the stats, the resumes, we see that, Teo has been at this high level for a long time. When it comes to Shakur Stevenson, his amateur record speaks for itself, but at the same time, not necessarily getting the notable names that people know in America. People are also saying that they're kind of discrediting Shakur's resume, saying he hasn't really fought anybody. Teofimo Lopez would be that first person. Do you feel like that could be something that, I don't know, it could be a lot closer than what people think?
I mean, listen, the fight's gonna be a lot closer than people think. We just blabbing our mouth and running off what we think our professional opinion is. These are two talented, great young fighters in here. You know what I'm saying? Teo's not gonna back down. Shakur's not gonna back down. We're gonna get an exciting 12-round fights or however long it should last. We're gonna have an exciting fight. And I'm expecting both guys to come in there and leave everything they got.
Shakur Stevenson represents a problem that very few fighters have ever truly been able to solve, not because he overwhelms opponents with aggression or high volume, but because he controls everything in a far more subtle, almost invisible way. Instead of forcing chaos, Stevenson focuses on limiting openings, slowly taking away options, quietly guiding the pace on his own terms until the fight starts to feel like it belongs only to him. His defensive awareness, sharp positioning, and precise timing make every single exchange difficult to even access, like trying to hit a shadow that keeps moving just out of reach. Opponents are forced to work harder just to land cleanly, often growing impatient as the rounds pass, realizing too late that the trap was never about power, but about control.
Shakur Stevenson really might 12-0 Teofimo Lopez. People love talking about this resume that Teofimo Lopez has. Granted, it's a really good resume. He has guys like Lomachenko under his belt, Josh Taylor. But if I'm being honest, Josh Taylor played into what Teofimo Lopez wanted him to do so perfectly. Lomachenko, he lost that fight more than Teofimo won that fight, if I'm being honest. And against lower level competition, like a Steve Claggett, like a Jermaine Ortiz, like a Kambosos,
This approach makes Stevenson both deeply frustrating and dangerously unpredictable inside the ring, because he does not give away patterns easily, and every move feels like part of a bigger unseen plan. And when a rival finally begins to adjust, he adapts without hesitation, almost as if he was waiting for that moment to reveal another layer. Against a fighter like Lopez, who thrives on rhythm, confidence, and momentum, this style becomes especially dangerous because it attacks the very things that make Lopez powerful. Stevenson's ability to disrupt flow before it even fully develops threatens to neutralize Lopez's natural strengths before they can breathe. What separates Stevenson even further is his composure, a calm that feels unshakable. He remains steady under pressure and rarely panics when situations suddenly shift. That quiet steadiness allows him to read opponents in real time and make small but decisive adjustments that slowly change the entire fight. Facing Stevenson demands patience, discipline, and emotional control, qualities that challenge even the most talented athletes. For Lopez, this matchup is not just physical, but a true test of focus, restraint, and mental survival.
People talk about a focused Teo. A focused Teo was only unfocused with one fight his whole life, and that was George Kambosos, and that's the only fight I'll give y'all. No matter who Shakur fought, he's looked great against everybody. No matter it's the bums that y'all say he fights or the number one guys in the division, Shakur Stevenson has dominated everybody. It's gonna be a sight to see. Shakur Stevenson on fight night is going to make fireworks happen, and I can't wait to see it. I've already gave my stance on this, but Shakur Stevenson it's just his time, and Teo's just...
Lopez's career took a clear shift after the loss to George Kambosos, a moment that disrupted the momentum he once carried so confidently, almost like a sudden pause in a story that was moving too fast. Before that defeat, his performances showed sharp focus and consistent execution, the kind that made everything look effortless and inevitable. Since then, results and displays inside the ring have felt uneven, with flashes of brilliance mixed with lapses in discipline, creating a version of Lopez that feels unpredictable even to himself. Still, inconsistency should not be mistaken for a lack of threat, because danger does not vanish just because rhythm fades. Lopez remains a dangerous fighter, especially in the early stages of bouts when his energy is high and belief fuels his offense, reminding everyone that one moment of confidence can still change everything.
Can Teofimo hurt Shakur with one shot? Can he hurt him clean? He hasn't been a killer, as much of a killer at 140, and after Kambosos, he hasn't been the same in my opinion, but he's still explosive and still dangerous in the first 7 rounds, you know what I'm saying, first 8 rounds. So I think it's a good fight. I like the fight actually because of that. Teofimo got the explosive punching power on his side and good athleticism, and Shakur has superior boxer IQ, good range, good distance. So it's great. It's good boxer versus good athlete at this point. So I like the fight. I don't say it's 50-50. I say it's 60-40 Shakur. But I like Teofimo's chances in this fight. You know what I'm saying? If Teofimo makes this a fight and comes out early and attacks and gets right up on Shakur.
His greatest strength continues to be the raw ability to generate sudden, explosive power, the kind that can shift a fight in a heartbeat. Even when he appears out of rhythm or off balance, a single movement can change the entire tone, keeping opponents tense, never fully relaxed, because control can vanish in an instant. Analysts often note that while his dominance has wavered, his physical gifts remain undiminished. Speed, strength, and athleticism still very much alive. This mix creates a volatile fighter, where moments of brilliance strike alongside costly mistakes, a duality that keeps everyone guessing. Against a calm and composed fighter like Stevenson, that volatility becomes even more significant, with the potential for a defining breakthrough if timed perfectly, or for mounting frustration if patience and control slip away. But if Stevenson establishes distance and forces the fight to move at his measured pace, Lopez may find himself reaching too often, missing more than landing, and feeling the weight of mounting frustration with each passing second.
De Los Santos. You're going to see De Los Santos Part 2, and he's just going to get on his bicycle, which we don't want to see. Or he's gonna have to fight, and I think Teofimo is a guy that can make Shakur fight because he can cut off the ring well enough. You know what I'm saying? I think he can stay with him well enough where he can turn this into a fight, and it'll be exciting for him if he does. I think Shakur, like a lot of fighters, he needs this name in order to silence a lot of the naysayers, because people talk a lot of shit about Shakur, especially after the De Los Santos fight. I don't think, the Zabata fight took it off of him, even though they tried to make it seem like, yeah.
Tim Bradley sees this matchup as a striking contrast between two very different fighting philosophies, where raw explosiveness collides with calculated control. From his perspective, Teofimo Lopez thrives on sudden, unpredictable movements and sharp bursts of energy, the kind that let him create a fence seemingly out of nowhere. His speed and athleticism are not just tools, they are weapons, designed to overwhelm opponents before they have a chance to find a rhythm or a sense of comfort. Lopez looks to impose chaos from the opening bell, forcing reactions and exploiting even the smallest hesitation with power shots capable of instantly turning the tide of a fight.
I understand that, but it's the feet. The feet is what gets you in position to be able to land those shots. Footwork is extremely important. When I look at both these guys, and I look at Shakur's footwork, I look at Teo's footwork, and what I noticed about Teo's footwork in particular is that in order to be able to throw with the amount of power that he has, I've noticed with Teo, there's always a subtle pause before he actually explodes. And Teo's a guy that likes to explode into contact, like to explode into his opponents, man, to land his offense. Fast, twitchy type muscles, fibers. He's extremely fast. Some may say that his twitchiness kind of reminds him of like Roy Jones' type of movements, how quick he's able to close that distance on his opposition.
According to Bradley, the outcome will not be decided by who throws more punches or shows the loudest aggression. Instead, Victory will favor the fighter who dictates how and where the fight unfolds, the one who controls the rhythm, sets the pace, and forces the other man to constantly adjust, turning every exchange into a battle on their terms.
It's the feet. The feet is what gets you in position to be able to land those shots. You know, footwork is extremely important. When I look at both these guys, and I look at Shakur's footwork, I look at Teo's footwork, and what I noticed about Teo's footwork in particular is that in order to be able to throw the amount of power that he has, you know, I've noticed with Teo, there's always a subtle pause before he actually explodes. And Teo's a guy that likes to explode into contact, like to explode into his opponents, man, to land his offense. You know, fast, you know, twitchy type muscles, you know, fibers, you know, he's extremely fast. You know, some may say that, you know, his twitchiness kind of reminds him of like Roy Jones' type of, you know, movements, how quick he's able to close that distance on his opposition. However, he's in there with a guy that is a master at controlling distance. That's like he's a master at literally, you know, getting in his position, right, in a position where he wants to be and taking away your positioning. And with doing so, he takes away your feet, you know, and that's why I think feet are going to be extremely important in this. You know, if you can keep your opponent off balance, for instance, let me just give you an example. It's like Teo explodes. There's a subtlety before he explodes with his offense. And as soon as Shakur sees that, he's anticipating something to come. He knows he's going to explode in. So what does Shakur do? Teo takes a big step in. Shakur takes a...
In discussing the upcoming fight, Stevenson carries himself with a quiet, unwavering assurance. He does not flinch at criticism, nor does he appear shaken by doubt. Instead, he frames the matchup as simply another step in his journey, a necessary chapter in his progression. His confidence is born from preparation, not bravado, a steady belief that comes from knowing he has done the work. Stevenson speaks like someone comfortable under scrutiny, trusting that his skills will ultimately speak louder than any opinion or headline. This mental stability could prove decisive when facing a fighter as emotionally charged as Lopez, because Stevenson's ability to remain composed under pressure suggests he is ready for both the physical battles and the psychological tests this fight will inevitably bring.
It's cool. I mean, that's their opinion. Like, you know, they could say that. But I know he never fought nobody on my level. Like, I'm 1,000,000% sure that Teo has never seen nobody as good as me in his life.
He's talking about, like, once he gets through you, then he wants Crawford, names like that. How do you think he would do against someone like Terrence at this point?
I think he gets knocked out.
Can't even hang with him.
Yeah, he's too little. Bud is too big for him.
Right. As far as skills, though, do you think he's on par with the likes of Terrence?
I'm not gonna say he's on a Terrence Crawford level of skills, but he's very skillful. He got a lot of things with him that puts him at a high level.
One thing that was interesting to me was it seemed like you were going to move on from Matchroom, but now Eddie Hearn is involved in this, and this is a Matchroom event, it seems like. I know it's a ring card too, but he's promoting it here in the United States. So what is the state of your relationship with Eddie and Matchroom at this point?
Eddie's my guy. I'm actually not signed to Matchroom, but he's my guy. I'm a big fan of Eddie Hearn, and nothing but respect to him, but I'm glad he's the promoter that's on this card. I'm glad to share the spotlight with his promotional company.
So if he's your guy, how come you're not signed to Matchroom?
I mean, it's just business. If it makes sense, then I will. You know, if it come down to it and that's what makes sense, then we'll do it. But right now, I don't think it makes sense.
Okay, so are you just more of like your own man at this point? Your own entity?
Yeah, I am.
Okay. Do you negotiate with the ring people, with Turkey? You just do that yourself?
No, me and my manager, Jay.
Okay, that's it for today's video. Stay tuned, because the story isn't over yet. Until next time, the fight continues to unfold, and every moment brings us closer to the truth inside the ring.